Hey True Seekers, it's Nathaniel here, continuing our strategy series. And this time we're going to be talking about the power of the Holy Spirit. You know, a lot of these names are kind of sounding like sermon titles, but that's okay. So, the strength of the Holy Spirit kind of Animo is their ability to grow and synchronize with other Animos through fellowship. They also carry a lot of utility. A lot of the Animo, they deal with getting you cards that you need. So the power of the Holy Spirit is about empowering believers. And it just reminds me of Acts chapter 1, where Jesus says the disciples will be endued with power from on high. So enough of the theology behind it. We're going to go straight into our True Seekers. So, our first True Seeker here is Simon. Simon says, once per turn, you may reveal an Animo from your hand and search your deck for a previous growth stage of that Animo. Shuffle your deck afterwards. The way that Carolyn and I have been playing this is that if you have a level 3 in your hand, you go and you search your deck for a level 2. You have a level 2 in your hand, and you reveal it. You search your deck for a level 1. So Simon, I think, is like one of the best True Seekers, just because of his ability to go grab you cards from your deck. JP, I think, is the second best Holy Spirit True Seeker. He says, once per turn during your setup phase, you may draw one card for each level 2 or level 3 Animo in your small group. So one of the strategies I have with JP is just growing my Animo from a level 1 to level 2 and letting them sit in my small group so that way I can draw extra cards. And sometimes I won't even activate an Animo to get points just because I know I can use that Animo to draw more cards and grow on the following turn to gain even more points than if I activated it right then. All right. And then Ellie. Ellie changes your victory condition. So now you are winning by scoring 55 virtue points. Next week, we are actually going to be doing a deck profile featuring Ellie. So it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so those are our True Seekers for the Holy Spirit. They deal with growth, either getting you your growth stages, drawing by rewarding you for having growth stages, or by changing your Oh, yeah, that's right. The other thing that Holy Spirit does is like the Sword of the Spirit adds more virtue points, and like Myrrh, which I will cover those towards the end of the video. Yeah, so I forgot that theme also works with Ellie as well. All right, moving on. Currently in the game, the Holy Spirit Animo are the only ones that have 5 Ultra Animo. Okay, so to start with, we are going to talk about Drylight Ultra and Prayer Gwens. They are 4 for 13, and you attach the Sword of the Spirit to them, which would make them a 4 for 16, which is really good value. Or you could put Myrrh on them, which is going to reduce their cost, so that way they become 13 for 3, which is on par with like Agape Soar. Then you have Nico. Nico costs 1 for 6 virtue points, and a 1 for 6 is really good in this game. Okay, attach Sword of the Spirit to it. It becomes a 1 for 9. Activate an Alpha Lux Ultra. On top of that, you're getting extra virtue points, so you're getting a lot of value out of that 1. Or you can attach Myrrh to it, and then you just get 6 for free. Then we got Raspberry Ultra. Raspberry Ultra is a 3 for 10, which is kind of a lesser value, but it's all right. And then you got Hybrid Ultra. Hybrid Ultra has that is a 3 for 8, but then also has that Faith Fellowship bonus, which makes it becomes a 3 for 13 if you activate it with a Faith Animo. All right. So that is all 5 of the Ultras that you can consider running as your win cons. Next up, we have Prayer Gwen. Okay, Prayer Gwen's here because it is a 3 for 8, and 8 is kind of like our cutoff point. But I do have a lot of cards that are actually 7s, and that's because they combo with other cards. So the turn you activate them, you're going to get a lot more value out of it. But Prayer Gwen here has an ability that says, If this card's in your small group, it provides faith, hope, or love power during your scoring phase. This card may not be activated in the same turn that you use its ability. So, this is really good because you can use it as a temporary power card and then activate it like on the following turn to get 8 virtue points. Also, another thing is I didn't talk about the fasting card. Fasting empowers a lot of Holy Spirit plays as well. So Raspberry. Raspberry is a 2 for 4. But has a love fellowship bonus, so it becomes a 2 for 7, which is really strong value. Raspberry, you're just going to combo with a love deck, which is actually a really strong play. I was comboing it with Alphalix Ultra as well with my fellowship bonus to get a lot of points. Then we got this Raspberry. This Raspberry is an 3 for 8 that has an action that allows you to look at the top 3 cards of your deck and place any power cards you find there directly into your power pool. And then it also being a 3 for 8 is really good value. Moving on to our level 2s, we have Flaming Grow. So Flaming Grow, level 2 for Holy Spirit, has the ability that once per turn you may draw 1 card for each faith, hope, or love animo in your small group. It is a 2 for 7, which isn't great value, but this card can be a replacement for Servitude in your deck. That's actually going to, because Servitude doesn't draw for love, this one does draw for love. So that's the trade-off there. Then we got an actual win con, which is Quillo level 2. Okay, so Quillo level 2 for Holy Spirit is a 2 for 7. Not great value, but it has a fellowship bonus of 10. And its ability says, the fellowship bonus on this card is enabled as long as this card is activated in the same turn as any faith, hope, or love level 1 animo. So you activate with a level 1, you get that 10 points. All right. A lot of Holy Spirit doesn't synchronize well with other Holy Spirit cards, but here's one that does. So this is Sprout. Sprout mechanically works with the theme of Holy Spirit Animo. Sprout is a 2 for 7, not great value, but you're going to combo it in the same turn that you're going to use its action. Its action says, search your deck for the next growth stage of any animo in your small group and instantly grow that animo. Shuffle your deck afterwards. So I combo this with like Nico. I'll have Nico level 2. I will use Activate Sprout. Sprout is going to go search my deck for Nico level 3. I'm going to go to Nico level 2 and Nico level 3. Then we're going to activate Nico level 3, which when we get there, Nico level 3 is really good. And you'll see how good it is. But basically, you're using Sprout to grow your other animo, which combos really well. Next up is Guppies. We have Guppies level 2 and 2 different Guppies level 1 that you can grow on top of. So Guppies level 2 is a 2 for 8. This is also June's Bible verse challenge of the month, which is really good. And it has the ability that says, when this card is played from your hand to grow Guppies level 1, you may reshuffle your hand into your deck and draw 6 cards. And then that's going to bring us to Guppies level 2 from Red Letter Day, Guppies level 1 from Red Letter Day, which is a 2 for 5, which is great value. I would run Guppies level 1 in a deck that uses, that's mono Holy Spirit or uses love as a primary or secondary kind if you're going to be using Guppies. Or even like a universal, because you're just going to get more value out of this one. But if you're running Faith or Hope, you're going to want to run the Guppies from CrossTrainers, which is a 1 for 2, not great value, but its ability is when you play this card from your hand into your small group, you may search your deck for any one Faith or Hope animo and shuffle your deck afterwards. So this one's going to be able to get you like your So Crows in a Hope deck or your Armorinos in a Faith deck. So you have different options and you use them for different reasons. So this goes in 3 different decks. This goes in 2 different decks. All right. Next up, we're going to talk about is Floraline. Floraline level 2 from CrossTrainers. All right, for Floraline level 2 from CrossTrainers. isn't necessarily really a win con as much as it's the Holy Spirit's answer to Sinnies. It is a 2 for 8 that has the ability that says if you're facing a Sinnie, this card has no activation cost. And this has helped me in many games because I don't have to pay its cost when facing against a Sinnie. And sometimes this can take out the Sinnie or take out a huge chunk of the Sinnie. And then I'll activate Animo that have Fellowship bonus with Holy Spirit. So that way I activated nothing for my Holy Spirit. And now I'm getting a lot more value out of just like my Hope Animo or my Love Animo. It's really good. Now, in order to grow into Floraline, you have to have a Floraline level 1. So Floraline level 1 from CrossTrainers is a 7 virtue point value for 3 energy. Not great, but you can attach Myrrh to it, which makes it better. Or you can attach the Sword of the Spirit, which makes it a 3 for 10, which puts it kind of like on par with Stagnetic, except Stagnetic's free. That's different. But I would actually recommend that you go with the Red Letter Day Floraline. It's a 2 for 4, which requires less energy. None of it's specified. And your goal is to grow on top of it anyhow. So it doesn't really matter which one you run, but this one you can get more virtue points out of, but this one costs less energy, so you can use it more frequently if you can't grow it. So those are options. And we will be covering the Floraline.
Sorry, I just yeeted the cat.
You yeeted the cat?
She fell out of back.
Oh. So I would recommend you use Floraline from Red Letter Day. All right. Moving on to Mante. Mante level 2 from CrossTrainers. It's a 2 for 8, but has the action that says search your deck for any power card and place it directly into your power pool. Shuffle your deck afterwards. And it grows on top of Mante level 1, which is a 1 for 3. Not great value, but the level 2 can grab you a standard power card or a special power card and grab you your prayer, which he's praying, so that makes sense. Or most likely, because you're running Holy Spirit, it's going to be able to grab fasting. And that covers all our level 2 Holy Spirit Animo, so I'm going to be moving on to our level 3. As I mentioned before, I'm going to be covering Nico, which we got our Bible verse challenge Nico, my little dude. So Nico level 3 is a 3 for 11, which isn't super great value for a level 3, but it has an action that says search your discard pile for the next growth stage of any Animo in your small group. You may instantly grow those Animo. So you activate Nico, and then you grab say like you have a Guppies level 1, go grab your Guppies level 2 from your discard pile and grow it right on top of it. Super great value. The level 2 is a 3 for 7, not super great value for a level 2, and the level 1's a 1 for 2, which isn't super great value, but that full artwork just looks on point. All right. I like comboing him with, as I mentioned before, Sprout. And basically any deck that grows that I'm most likely going to be discarding my Animo or activating them before their time. Next up, we have Hybrid. Hybrid level 3 is a 2 for 10, which is amazing value. Plus, it has an action that lets you search your deck for up to 2 Virtuous Animo that are either level 2 or level 3. And typically what I like to do is I like to run him within a Simon deck, because I'll activate him for 2 and then search my deck for a level 2 and a level 3, and then on my next turn use Simon's ability to reveal the level 2 to go grab the level 1 from my deck. Hybrid level 2 is a 2 for 5, which has an ability that says when this card is played from your hand to grow Hybrid level 1, you may search your deck for 1 standard power card and place it into your power pool. So, where Mante's a 2 for 8 that has an action that grabs you any type of power card, Hybrid just grows straight from your hand and then goes and grabs it as an ability. So Hybrid's faster, which is why he's, 5, plus he also grows into a 10. And chances are, if you're running Holy Spirit, you're probably also going to be running Hybrid anyhow because of this ability. Otherwise, you're probably going to be running Mante. But if you're running Hybrid level 2 for his ability, you might as well go ahead and get as much value as you can out of him by running Hybrid level 3. Next up is one of Carolyn's favorites.
Oh, yeah.
We have Fuzzworm. Particularly the level 2 is Carolyn's favorite. She could care less about the level 3.
Basically.
The level 3 I like. The level 3 is a 2 for 12, which is an amazing value. Carolyn, you're missing out on this amazing value. It has an action that says search your deck for an equipment card and attach it to an Animo in your small group. Shuffle your deck afterwards. So you activate him, go grab an equipment card, attach it to your Animo, which is probably going to be like a broken jar or Sword of the Spirit or Tools of the Trade, something to get you more points. And then you're going to activate that Animo next to gain even more virtue points. Carolyn particularly likes running Fuzzworm because of its level 2. Its level 2 has an ability that says you may choose to discard an equipment card that is attached to this card. If you do, you may draw 4 cards. All right, so I'm going to let you know. Fuzzworm level 2 is amazing. So what we've been doing with Fuzzworm level 2 is we've been getting it, growing Fuzzworm level 1, attaching Pulse Chains to Fuzzworm level 2. Fuzzworm level 2 will use the Pulse Chains to go grab 2 Animo, then discard the Pulse Chains to go draw 4 cards from our deck. And it's just, it has so much setup potential. It's basically like if you have Fuzzworm level 2 and you draw an equipment card, you're going to be sitting there like, this is amazing. And if I run a Holy Spirit deck, I like running 3 of this, and 2 of this. Because most of the time I'm going to sit there on my Fuzzworm level 2. I'm going to grow in the Fuzzworm level 3, activate it, go once I have a second Fuzzworm level 2 established. Because I never want to miss out on value of Fuzzworm. Plus, running a Fuzzworm deck means that you're going to be running a lot of equipment cards, and equipment cards is actually another thing that the Holy Spirit does, because the Holy Spirit's equipping you. So, anyways, moving on. Also, Fuzzworm level 1 is a 1 for 2. Not super great value, but he is what he is, because you're trying to get to that level 2, and it makes it worth it. Next up, we have Drylight level 3. So, Drylight level 3 is a 3 for 13, which is fair value, but its ability is when this card is played from your hand to grow a Drylight level 2, you may search your deck for any card. Shuffle your deck afterwards. And then the level 2 is a 2 for 7, which is fair value, and the level 1's a 1 for 2. I like pairing this with like Snakebit, because if I can pull off the Drylight combo on my first turn, I'm going to grab Snakebit and then play Snakebit to go grab whatever I need. Oftentimes we're using Drylight to go grab our fasting cards, because if you get this chain on your first turn, you're going to be able to activate him on your first turn, and that's 13 points. So Drylight level 3 is really good, very powerful, highly recommend him. All right, next up we have some story cards, which normally we never have story cards when we been doing these power videos. But some of these are very specific. Some of these just thematically go with Holy Spirit. So first off, we got Mustard Seed. Mustard Seed says discard 2 cards from your hand. Search your deck for up to 2 growth stages for any Animo in your small group and grow that Animo. Shuffle your deck. If you don't have 2 cards in your hand to discard, you can't play this card. So you get your level 1 out there, you discard 2 cards, go grab your level 2 and level 3. Or you have your level 1 out there, discard 2 cards, go grab your level 2. Mustard Seed is pretty good, but Karen and I have found that we struggle with what cards we actually want to discard when we activate Mustard Seed. So we've actually slowly kind of stopped using Mustard Seed all the time. Then we have Ascension. Ascension says you may skip 1 growth stage this turn. If you have any level 2 Animo, you may place it directly in your small group. If you have any level 3 Animo, you may place it directly onto the level 1 of the same Animo. So, in the card game Pokemon, they have a card called Rare Candy, which just lets you skip your, basically what would be your level 2 equivalent in this game. However, Ascension is really interesting because it also allows you to instead skip a level 1 to go into a level 2. So Ascension's like a better Rare Candy in that regard. So Ascension's really good thematically because it helps you grow your Animo or get to your higher growth stages faster. Next up is Bible Study Spirit. I'm hoping in Fearless that we're going to get some other Bible studies like faith, hope, and love. But right now we have Bible study spirit, which is to search your deck for any one Holy Spirit Animo, reveal it, and put it in your hand. Shuffle your deck afterwards. And then we also have Indwelling, which says search your deck for up to 2 Holy Spirit power cards and place them in your hand. Shuffle your deck afterwards. So this card gets you power cards, this gets you Holy Spirit Animo, and this gets you this is like a reverse Simon, and this card lets you skip your growth stages. So thematically, these cards work with Holy Spirit, but it also works with other kinds of Animo that grow. But this one specifically works with Holy Spirit, because this one gets your power cards that you can activate your Holy Spirit with, and this card gets you any of your Holy Spirit Animo, which I would like to combo this with Simon, because I will use Bible Study Holy Spirit to go grab one of my growth stages, then use Simon to reveal that growth stage to go grab the level 1 or level 2 that I need. Also, comboing it with Paul's Chains is really good, because that's how you get your level 1s out as well. All right, next up we have our equipment for Holy Spirit. Okay, first off we have Sword of the Spirit, which is the Holy Spirit Animo to whom this card is attached gains 3 virtue points. We use this with our Fuzzworm deck. It's really good. We also use Myrrh, and Myrrh says with when attached to an Animo, this card reduces its cost by 1 Holy Spirit power. So this one removes the Holy Spirit cost. And that's one of the other strengths of Holy Spirit. I don't know if you noticed this, but all Holy Spirit Animo only costs 1 specified Holy Spirit, and the rest are universal cost if it has any other cost other than Holy Spirit. And that's just currently, since we've had Red Letter Day and CrossTrainers, that's just been a theme that we've had. So this one basically makes this cost all universal. And that's basically what Myrrh does. All your Holy Spirit now costs universal. So you can either attach this, and now you're dealing with a 3 cost, or you can attach this, and you're getting more bang for your buck. And lastly, one of the strengths that Holy Spirit has is fasting. Fasting is an extremely powerful special power, because it can either be 1 Holy Spirit or 2 universal. As I mentioned before, they have these universal costs. So instead of this card costing 4 individual power cards, it's only going to cost 3 power cards. And if you attach Myrrh to it, now it's only going to cost 2 power cards. So keep that in mind. So fasting empowers a lot of the plays in your deck. It gives you a lot of things that you can do. It pairs really well with universal Animo, since they all cost universal. So just keep that in mind as you are building your Holy Spirit deck. Because if you're building your Holy Spirit deck, think about if you have any universal costs that cost 2 universal in your deck, like Hybrid Ultra in the Faith Fellowship bonus deck. Just take that stuff into consideration. Then you might want to slip in 2 or 3 fasting cards. So, with that out of the way, this has been our strategy series on the power of the Holy Spirit. In the meantime, True Seekers, keep learning virtues and defeating sinnies.